Do allow me to ask you this. Are you looking for a 4K self-contained outdoor camera security system that also happens to run on electrons from the sun? Yes, so no hideous wires, no power supply ever to worry about, which also means you can virtually mount it anywhere. This, my friends, is the EUFY EUFYCAM 3, which consists of solar-powered cameras and an indoor hub for AI processing and video storage. Now, EUFY's been at the home security game for quite a few years now, but the question is this latest and greatest model dope or nope? Let's find out after these messages that way. I just realized that some of you may have never heard of EUFY before. So they're the smart home division of Anker. Maybe that brand rings a bell. But anyways, let's do a quick rundown of the specs here. The EUFYCAM retails for $550, comes in only this color, and it comprises 2 cameras and this HOMEBASE hub. There are other packages, of course. If you need like 1 cam, 1 hub, you can go that route. Or if you have the previous gen hub, want to upgrade the cameras, or if you have older EUFYCAMs and just want to upgrade a hub, you can go that route too. The cameras, by the way, are 4K 3840 by 2160 f1.4 CMOS sensors. They have colored night vision as well as infrared if you like. You can see all the sensors all around here. There are 2 mics. The lens is right there. This is the motion spotlight, as well as tons of sensors back here. The solar panel is at the top. This has IP67 water dust resistance, by the way, really built solid. There's a lot of heft to it. Mounting point, as well as sync button, as well as the USB-C emergency charging, as well as also to connect this to the hub for the first time. I mentioned that there's mics here. There's 2-way audio. Motion spotlight, you can turn that on and off if you like. The HOMEBASE is a quad-core hub with 16 gigs of storage with support, this is new, with support for internal and external drive expansion, and has backwards compatibility with older EUFY smart products. And by the way, my unboxing video goes deeper into the specs and much more close-ups if that's your kind of jam. The home screen is where you find whatever paired devices, and here you see 2 cameras and the HOMEBASE. The video thumbnails, by the way, are taken from the most recent recorded event. In the lower left corner of each of the cameras, you can see the status indicators for battery charging, Wi-Fi, and sunlight strength. Like backyard is charging, you can see that moving and the sunlight is really bright. The front door camera is in the shade, therefore it is not charging. On the right side, here you see this little rectangle with a number right there with a 2. That shows the number of captured alerts for the day that's not read yet. Tapping the dots right here also brings up a quick snooze that ranges from 30 minutes to 12 hours if you like. And then the gear icon is, of course, settings. Most notable on this screen is, say, motion detection, where you can set things up like detection zones in your camera's field of view and then adjust the sensitivity for that, and then also determine what type of objects you want detected. And by the way, human recognition, you can train the human recognition AI for specific faces, and I'll show you that later on. Pet detection is really more like animals in general. So if you want to use this as a, animal cam or something like that, you can use it. In fact, I'm going to show you some samples right here where the camera caught some really decent ones. Back at the camera settings under Power Manager on the right here, you can see what the charging situation is like. And currently the sun is charging the camera just fine. You can also set how efficient the recordings should be, so 20 seconds clip is the most optimal for battery life, all the way up to 2 minutes per clip. And back out here under spotlight settings is where you can activate and adjust the strength of the spotlight, and next to that is anti-theft detection, and you can toggle it right here. Video and audio settings is where you can customize the quality of your streams and recordings, among other things. An important feature to point out is in video settings, there's the ability to set up privacy zones, which is kind of the opposite of detection zones I mentioned earlier, where you can block out areas you don't want the camera to capture, such as your neighbor's yard or an open bathroom window or whatever. Now the hub's settings, let's go back out to the hub itself. The hub settings is where you train it to recognize faces right here, as well as manage your storage. And note that the video archiving feature right here is only done with a connected external drive. You can't do it internally. Now back out at the main page right here, my 2 most used tabs are also events as well as security. Now, events is where you can find all your recorded events by date and then filter it down by camera and such like that. The security tab is straightforward. You can set up schedules or even use geofencing to enable home or away modes, for example. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Test. 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. One thing I want to test is what happens when internet goes out. So I've unplugged the router, and once I get in front of the camera, there should be an alert. And then there will be an incident recorded to the hub, but we'll see. There's power still, but I just disconnected the router, and let's see what happens. As expected, and thankfully, the recording did happen between the camera and the home base. Once internet was restored, I was able to check it with the app and look at the recording. Obviously, without internet, you can't communicate, or the app can't communicate. Even if it's on your phone, you have cell signal. Obviously, you can communicate between the hub. It would have been nice if I was at home, if internet is out, I can directly connect to the hub with my phone through Wi-Fi. That would be awesome. Maybe that's something EUFY can consider adding in the future. I'll tell you what, after being exposed to the 4K imagery captured on the EUFYCAM 3, the idea of looking at 720p or even 1080p footage just doesn't feel the same anymore. I admit, I'm kind of spoiled there. But I also do have to say that even though the resolution is advertised 4K, things like detail isn't like tack sharp, or colors won't wow you like it would with a 4K lens on a smartphone or an action cam. It's just not the same tech, let's get that straight, partly because of the night vision and also the usage case. It's built differently, it's more robust and everything. Still, there's enough sharpness and color in recordings that, for example, you can almost see the individual leaves in the right corner here, and human faces actually look like human faces rather than blurry Picassos or something. Let's talk about battery life, battery drain, as well as charging. We've settled that these are solar powered, right? But how does that translate into real-world use? So, for example, with AI and object recognition features, full-time motion detection, recording at 4K all turned on, I was seeing a, get this, 1 to 2% drop in battery per day. Yes, that's crazy, right? A sunny day can also top up the battery by about 3 to 4%. A semi-cloudy day, on the other hand, can still net about 2% by sundown. And you can do the math here, guys. You won't have battery anxiety with these things. But I am curious to see how these numbers behave in the dead of winter, like here in Maine, when batteries don't perform as well, let alone lesser hours of sunlight to charge it, if any. Another plus of solar power, and this one is pretty obvious, is you don't have to worry about wires dangling all over. Normally, when you're thinking about installing outdoor cameras, you have to either deal with unsightly cables, if you don't care about being tidy, or you have to spend more to get the wiring done right. With this thing, all you have to do is just mount it where there's sun and you're pretty much done. Kind of rhymes, isn't it? Who among you doesn't like the option of self-contained security? And yes, you can pay EUFY for cloud storage if you like, but I personally prefer free, and the fact that I can access my 256-bit encrypted recordings or archives locally is pretty darn awesome. Now, the HOMEBASE provides multiple options for storage, which I really like too. There's the 16 gig built-in, a hard drive bay for expansion, or even if you want, saving it to your NAS. Oh yes, I can almost see it now. Hate mail pouring into my virtual mailbox with things like, Aaron, why didn't you tell us about the part where these cameras are virtually useless in the case of a power outage? Well, I'm telling you now, and I completely agree with you too. Even though, granted, Eufy never once advertised this as an off-grid security system. The cameras may have internal batteries, but guess what? The HOMEBASE is still at the mercy of power outages. I guess a solution would be to connect the hub to a UPS backup battery if you like, but you know what would have been cooler? If the HOMEBASE had a built-in low-capacity emergency battery or something like that. That's an idea. Eufy, are you listening? It's the nature of these kinds of cameras that there's no continuous recording mode, unlike their AC powered cousins. And in case you didn't know, continuous live recording is a major battery sapper. But you know what? There are many sunny months in a year, and some of you also live in areas where it's pretty much sunny all year round. And as we saw earlier with the battery discharge, this thing can handle it. So it would have been at least nice to have an option in the app to turn on 24/7 recorded security footage. Because I'm willing to give up battery life on some days of the year, such as when I'm gone for the holiday on the weekend or something, for continuous surveillance. As you probably heard from the samples, the speakers aren't the best. The fidelity is harsh, it's buzzy, it's grating. They're probably small in there as well as low wattage. I wish Eufy hadn't skimped on the drivers here, because when I use it to speak to people, I want to sound, chill and inviting, not like scare them off the grounds when I say something like, "You can leave the packages right there," or "Come on in, guys," because I start to sound like the old guy down the street. Oh wait, I am the old guy down the street. Despite its flaws, I love this whole camera system, I'll tell you what. The fact that the cameras take the guesswork and also the actual work of wiring out of the equation while harnessing the power of the sun for near infinite battery life, heck yeah man, sign me up. And the hub is versatile, it's low energy and can handle your older Eufy home products. And sure, this whole thing is not cheap, but if you want the top of the line 4K, green running, big storage camera package with great customer support, this would be it. So with all that said, I'm giving the Eufy EUFYCAM 3 a GearUP score of 8.7 out of 10. And this is how I broke it down to get the final score. By the way, if you have any questions about how I got there, feel free to comment down below. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this, for being here, and also thank you to Eufy for sending me this set. And remember, even though this was given to me and all that kind of such, these are all my own honest opinions. I'll never sway from that, just for you. And remember to thumbs up if you like this video, guys, and subscribe to this channel. Share the word around if you're already a subscriber. Share this with your friends and family. Get me to 50,000 subs. I'm kind of far behind and I need your help to get there. You can visit me on Patreon as well if you like to support me financially, and also the super thanks button can do the same if you like to buy me a cup of coffee or tea or something. And remember, guys, to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love y'all very much. Peace out, and I'll see you the next time.